I think some of us who are like really about fitness or really about our business or really about even fatherhood, we allow those things to take a precedent or priority over our marriage. And our marriage, like we're crushing it at work, but we're not paying attention to our marriage. I'm crushing it in fitness because I'm not satisfied in my marriage. I'm putting the kids above my wife because it's easier, right? It's easy to be poor. It's easy to have a shitty marriage. It's easy. And so I think leaning into your marriage, I had another thought on it, but leaning into your marriage, and it doesn't matter how much you make or what your job is or anything, you can have an abundant life if you lean into that. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I wondered if you were going down the path of there's sort of, I always think like the ripple effect, right? So I feel like if you're focusing on your marriage, okay, well, obviously, for you and I and, many others, faith right in there at number one, but let's assume that, but let's focus. If you're focusing on having an abundant marriage and pouring into that in a way, obviously we're, up and down every day and not perfect, but really focused and intentional in pouring into that, does that not spill over into how you grow your relationships with your children, how you interact at the office or, with your employees or with your business partners? Does it not spill over and have influence over maybe the rise and growth of your business? Are you not in a clearer state of mind and a freer state of mind versus if you're grinding it out and it's like maybe driving a car with square tires, so to speak, like plonk, 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 like you can never get into any kind of a groove. And what is the ripple effect of chaos at home between you and your wife? I mean, I don't think that propels you to be a better father or a better leader at the office, right? Or, better at your church or better at leading any charitable organizations that you're involved in. Probably makes it where you operate at a less than desirable area. So that was my thought. When you talk about focusing on an abundant marriage, I feel like the ripple effect of that is like throwing a big boulder in a pond and it spreads wide, right, across all areas of your life.
Okay, I'm glad I froze up because what you said is exactly true. And what I think sometimes, or as you said this is what popped in my head. I think some of us who are like really about fitness or really about our business or really about even fatherhood, we allow those things to take a precedent or priority over our marriage. And our marriage, like we're crushing it at work, but we're not paying attention to our marriage. I'm crushing it in fitness because I'm not satisfied in my marriage. I'm putting the kids above my wife because it's easier, right? It's easy to be poor. It's easy to have a shitty marriage. It's easy, right? It's hard to have a good marriage because, dude, it is freaking hard to be married, bro. It is hard. It is. My friend Dan Tacchini on the podcast, I think it was him. He said, marriage is a crucible, right? It's your opportunity to just like die to yourself and lean in. But like you said, I think if we were to put that marriage as the center, at least of those other things, okay, obviously faith, okay, but put the marriage above those other things, then I think the fitness, the business, the kids, the ripple effect for those is much more authentic than the kids move out and the business fails. And then I'm like, oh God, all I have is this lady who I don't know or don't like, and I'm out. Right. I think that there's this, we put a lot of things before. So I think the ripple point was really important. And then, last thought. I volunteered at a Rise Up Kings event a few months ago, and we were at the cemetery, and I didn't do the eulogy thing because I did it before. So I'm walking around and I find this tombstone, and I don't remember exactly, but all I know is it was the Smiths, and it had his date of birth, his date of death, the dash in the middle. And the only thing on that, it didn't tell me how much money he made. It didn't tell me any businesses or philanthropy, but he was married for 70 something years. And I'm like, so when you're talking about this ripple effect or like what matters in this life, you're like, holy smokes. Like that's crazy, bro. Like we're in our 40s. Homie was married for 70 years. That's the gangster shit, right? That is really entering in life fully.
Man, the dash.
Because you know how hard that is.
Think of that guy's dash, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did he, you know what he did? I mean, besides a heck of a lot, right? Of course. He had impact. His dash had a
Mm.
ripple effect across
Yes.
generations, right?
Yes.
His wife, his kids, the way he led his family, right? The ups and the downs. How about the sheer fact of dad never quit the marriage?
Mm.
Just dad, right? Because he
Yeah.
could quit. You can quit,
You can quit. Yeah.
right? Do you think they ever
Yeah,
had any
man.
hard times? I mean, growing up, I mean, right? Think that Mr. Smith ever had any hard times? Of course he did. And so, wow, that that guy's dash. I mean, wow, what a legacy, right? What an impact on multiple generations. I'm sure that this gentleman had. And again, just because you're married 71 years doesn't mean you're perfect. We're human beings. We all know
Of
that.
course. Of course.
We're human beings.
But you're waking up choosing. So go back to that. For 70 times 365, dude got up every morning and chose, all right, I'm going to do this thing. You know what I mean? Love it. Okay, bro, this podcast is Fatherhood Field Notes. You're doing it. I'm doing it. We're just like open up life, sharing stories. It's epic. I'm like sad that we're, 45 minutes into this because I could talk for 2 hours with you. But the mantra behind this is rebel and create. Okay, as men, we want to fight. We want to have, a fight in front of us. What's something small or large that you're rebelling against in this culture, this day and age, in your home? And then not just to tear down a wall, but what do you want to create in its place?
Man. Well, I think, I mean, this was brought to light when I went through, my own Rise Up Kings experience. I think what comes to mind when you bring up rebel, it's rebel against the pull, almost like a gravitational attraction to comfort and ease. And when I think about like the kids, like I'll never forget when I got home, late July 2021 after my refinery, and it was things like my wife needs help with this, or the kids want to play a game on the floor, or this needs done. And, maybe in the past I would have done it some of the time, but I'm sitting there going, I've had a 12-hour day. I've worked hard. I just got back from a business trip. Whatever. So rebelling against that, like that, like the easy, it's easy to do this. It's hard to do that. It's like, dude, rebelling against that attraction of just going over toward the side of falling into that comfort and ease and making decisions out of what will make me the most comfortable and what will be the easiest path right now, even though I know that, getting up and going outside and doing whatever with my son, or, what, my wife forgot something in the grocery store. I'm going to get up, I'm going to go out and get it for her. And I'm not going to say, why did you, I'm just going to do it. You're right. So rebelling against that, I mean, that attraction, it's like, it's in our world every day, right? That it's all about comfort, right? It's all about speed, ease, comfort. And I know that what I've learned in the last 3 years is if I choose ease and comfort with my fatherhood and with my marriage, it will not lead, right, to the best results, right? Yeah, man. So that's on the rebel side.